My name is Steve Gage, and I've had a very fortunate career in the fire service over the last 40 plus years. Had an opportunity to start as a seasonal firefighter with the Kern County Fire Department in California in 1969. Did a few seasons with them, then got on with the Fulton Hotshots for the latter part of the 72 season and then on into 73. Got hired full-time with the County of Kern late in 73 and did 30 plus years there, progressed from being a firefighter all the way up to the fire chief's position. Left the county so my son could get a job there, and I wasn't allowed to hire him because of nepotism, but left the county, went to work for California OES Fire and Rescue as a deputy chief operations there. For about a year and a half, worked for the governor and in that program, and then applied for and was given a job in the Washington office with the U.S. Forest Service as a liaison between the Forest Service and FEMA to work on the national response framework after Hurricane Katrina and all the bad press and the things that FEMA was dealing with. And so took that job on, and then got a chance to be one of the NIMO, the National Incident Management Organization, NIMO, one of their incident commanders. Did that for almost 5 years, and then came to Boise to NIFC as the Assistant Director for Operations for Fire and Aviation Management at NIFC, and got an opportunity to sit at NMAC. You know, the equipment that's being used today, from the time I started till, you know, the time I stepped away, development in personal protective equipment, the development in safety procedures and how we manage fire. You know, I got in the early days of the large fire organization, you know, in our LFO, and remember my first assignment as a sector boss, you know, and how we learned those things. And a lot of what we got was on-the-job training. There were not formalized classes in a lot of things that we did, and especially in the county where we given the opportunity to take some of the classes that our federal partners were taking. Then we got to sneak into those classes and were invited in and those kinds of things. But communication packages. When we got away from our rigs, you know, to go on a fire, and if you were out as a division on a fire and you carried a radio that had one channel and it took a dozen D-cell batteries, and you had to carry 2 extra sets because in an operational period you could go through a whole set of batteries. And you didn't have contact with air attack. You didn't have a command channel to contact operations. You didn't have 2 or 3 TAC channels to operate off of. We operated off of 1 channel on the radio. The line gear has come a long, long way from the old days of, you know, Army surplus web gear and the banjo canteens that we all shared with each other. You know, everybody on the engine shared the same canteens. You know, in today's world, we don't do those things.